A broad aerial picture of the charred remains of Amy Roloff's Los Angeles home is shown as the camera opens. The fire has completely destroyed the once grand and quaint house, leaving it reduced to a charcoal skeleton. As firefighters continue to put out the last of the embers, smoke rises in the air. There is a sensation of complete destruction. Amy is shown standing near the property's edge. Tears run her face, and her eyes are wide-eyed and incredulous. As she moves slowly through the ruins, her feet crunching on the rubble, the camera lingers on her face. She pauses, staring vacantly at the smoking remains of the porch. Amy voiceover, I never imagined that this kind of event would occur. My haven was this house. It included all of the memories, love, laughter, and holidays, and it's gone now. Birthdays, Christmas, private dinners, and holiday get-togethers were all celebrated in the house. Hi everybody, hope you are well. Please do subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. Amy can be seen arranging get-togethers, creating memories that seem so distant today, and laughing and smiling with her kids. Today, Amy kneels down and approaches the heap of ashes and scorched wood. She seems to be attempting to cling to something from her previous existence as she sinks her fingers into the soot. Behind her, silently supporting her, are her children and close friends. Everything I worked for, everything I loved, it's just gone, said Amy, her eyes weeping and her voice breaking. And I'm not sure how to begin again. Zach says, we're here for you, Mom, as he approaches her from behind and puts a kind touch on her shoulder. Together, we're going to overcome this. Allow us to assist you in rebuilding. Amy's eyes are a mix of trepidation and gratitude as she stares up at him. Amy voiceover, after what you've been through, it's difficult to let people in. Although I've always taken pride in my independence, I feel as though I've lost everything lately. When everything has been turned to ashes, how can you rebuild? Amy and her kids travel to Matt's farm in Oregon the following day. With the tragedy hanging over everyone, the atmosphere is strained. Although Matt and Amy's relationship is still friendly, there are obvious indications of unresolved conflict. Matt smiles warmly and encouragingly as he welcomes Amy and the children. Yet there is an obvious undertone of unease. I'm just glad you're all here, said Matt, attempting to maintain a lighthearted tone. You know, this farm has always been a place to start again. Here you can find some tranquility. Amy makes an effort to smile, but she comes out as aloof and preoccupied. Amy voiceover, quietly to herself, I'm not sure whether I can reset. This house held great significance for me. With a fire blazing in the background, the family assembles in the farmhouse kitchen later that evening. The atmosphere is tense despite the welcoming surroundings. Mom, I know you're hurting, but you can't shut us out, Zach said, trying to get through Amy's shell out of compassion. We wish to assist. Amy, I know you want to help. Zach, she said, shaking her head and sounding frustrated. You don't comprehend, though. It goes beyond the house. Everything is involved. I feel as though I have to start all over again. And I'm not sure if I'm capable of it. Tori sang quietly while seated close by. We are a family. Together, we will reconstruct this. But Mom, you must allow us in. If you don't let us, we can't help. Amy suddenly gets to her feet, her annoyance leaking out. I've always done things on my own, says Amy, raising her voice. I'm not in need of sympathy or being pampered. I need space, I need it. Zach, we're not feeling sorry for you, Mom, despite his pain. Your family is us. You don't have to work alone on this. The door slams behind Amy as she storms out of the room. Uncertain of what to do, the remainder of the family looks at each other with concern. A fire investigator arrives the next morning to inform the family gathering in the living room that a suspected electrical problem in the attic was the cause of the fire. The family members stare at one another in disbelief as the gravity of the situation hits them. It's difficult to say for sure, but it looks like an electrical failure, the fire investigator said to Amy. It is regrettable. You're fortunate that nobody was home. Amy, I guess it's a blessing, she says, nodding slowly and struggling to contain her emotions. However, it doesn't feel that way. Amy is overcome with a mixture of relief and guilt as she processes the news. I wish I had known, she muses. The question persists. Was this avoidable? With lights shining, kids playing, and laughter resonating throughout the house, Amy is seen hosting a family Christmas. It is startling to see the difference between the happiness of those times and the current. Return to the present. While the family debates what to do, Amy stands by herself outside, gazing at the wreckage of her life. Matt comes over and offers his assistance with the reconstruction, including his crew and resources from his farm. "Amy, I have the team," says Matt softly to her. "We can rebuild more swiftly than you think if I can get things going. I don't want this to make you feel isolated." "Amy, Matt, I don't need you to fix everything," she said, shaking her head and crying. "You don't have to jump in and take charge like you normally do for me." Matt doesn't protest, but his face drops. He withdraws into a confessional instead. "Quiet and honest," Matt says. "I just want to help. Being unable to do more while witnessing someone you care about suffer is difficult." Amy is unable to let go of the past, despite the obvious tension between them. Every encounter still bears the scars of their failed marriage. Amy grows more reclusive over the next few days. She rejects Zach, Tori, and even Jeremy's attempts to speak with her since she is so distraught and angry. Zach and Tori sit together in a private time, their frustrations rising to the surface. Zach sighs and says, "I understand." She's angry. "However, this cannot continue. She must open the door for us. We are related." Tori nods, "I understand." Seeing her shut down like Wei is difficult. However, it's possible that we're not paying enough attention to her requirements. Perhaps we have been overly preoccupied with making things right. Audrey and Jeremy, meantime, are dealing with their own problems at home and are feeling the strain of the circumstance on top of their small family. In a private discussion with Matt, Jeremy acknowledges that the entire circumstance is beginning to cause stress in his own marriage. "There's a lot of pressure right now," admits Jeremy. "We are the ones everyone looks to for solutions. However, we ourselves aren't in a fantastic place." Amidst the confusion, Amy gets a visit from an old acquaintance she hasn't seen in a long time. This acquaintance provides Amy with much-needed clarity and a shoulder to weep on. Over coffee, an old friend kindly says, "I know it's difficult, Amy, but it's not just a place you own. You have friends and family. Over the years, you have developed a network of support. You don't need to bear all of this by yourself." With the words weighing heavily on her, Amy listens quietly. She releases part of her resistance and gradually opens up. "Sometimes, it takes losing everything to remind you what really matters," says Amy voiceover, as the camera pans to her re-establishing contact with her kids. "Not the home or the belongings, but those who care about you. I also own that. I possess them." To assist Amy in rebuilding, the Roloffs decide to host a community fundraiser. Even though it's a tiny private gathering, everyone who loves her is there. As the evening wears on, Amy begins to sense the warmth of her community and family's affection enveloping her. The lantern lighting ceremony, an ancient custom that represents hope and fresh starts, brings the family together. Every member of the family shares a reminiscence from the past while lighting a lantern. As the lights fade into the sky, Amy, standing in the middle, watches with tears in her eyes. Amy, reflective voiceover, "I think this was the most difficult time in my life. However, I'm not alone myself. For all of them, I am incredibly thankful. The one thing you can never lose is your family." Shots of the Roloff family working together to construct the house while enjoying moments of companionship and laughter conclude the show. Despite the fact that the past cannot be changed, they are moving forward together and stronger. Let us know in the comments. And stay tuned by subscribe to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you, bye guys.